What's up, YouTube? Gotta make this video talking about what happened with the Lions on Sunday. Yeah, that was a real heartbreaker. A real heartbreaker. Because the fact is, we never get this opportunity ever again. And it felt like torture just watching the second half of that game. Of course, the Lions jumped ahead 24-7 at halftime, and there were just so many things that had went wrong. Especially when you lose a game like this, you're gonna look back at every little thing that you could have done differently. You know, at the start of the game, Jared Goff was missing some easy throws. He missed the easy pass. He threw the ball short on the flea flicker to an open receiver. He threw the ball way too short. And he also missed Gibbs on the seam route for a touchdown. He was wide open on that one as well. He threw that one way too high. Of course, that was 4 points that the Lions needed. You know, people talking about Dan Campbell, defending Dan Campbell. I feel like if you're defending Dan Campbell, you're just delusional. The fact is, Dan Campbell has absolutely zero situational awareness because he doesn't understand the severity of what he has done. Even after the game, he doesn't understand how severe what he did was. He didn't understand the situation. He didn't understand that, you know, there is no next game after this. There is no game next week if you don't win. This isn't the NBA where you can afford to lose a game and you can fall back on game 2. No, nigga, if you lose this game, your whole fucking season is over with. So it is super important to go up by 3 possessions. Like, it's okay to kick field goals sometimes. I don't know what the issue is with him and just kicking a field goal. And the thing is, like, you know, real great teams don't have to do that. Real great teams don't have to go for it all the fucking time because real great teams don't even let it get to a 4th down all the time. But that's neither here nor there. Like, the underdog mentality is gone. You're not underdogs anymore. You made it to the NFC Championship game. You've had a pretty good season. And he needs to smarten the fuck up because there is no way on planet Earth you're down by 3 in the championship game. You have an opportunity to tie the game up with a field goal, and you decide to go for it instead. That is complete fucking insanity. It is utterly unforgivable. Dan Campbell's bad decision started the cascade of bullshit. If you never went for it, he would have never dropped that pass. And if he never drops that pass, I don't think all the other things happen. I think if the Lions kick the field goal and go up 27-0 and then kick the ball off to San Francisco, I think there's a whole different energy to that. San Francisco's offense taking the field down by 17 points. The Lions defense takes the field with the lead having been put back to 17 because the lead was 17 at the half. The 49ers kicked a field goal to make it a 14-point game, and then the Lions moved right down the field and kicked another field goal to go up 27-10. It's a whole different type of energy that would have been present at the stadium, in those players' minds. Once they realize they got a defensive stop, boom, we right back in this. As soon as we get a touchdown, now we down by a touchdown. And what happens right after that? Jahmyr Gibbs fumbles the ball, and guess what? The 49ers, they go right down the field, score an easy touchdown. Now it's a tie game in like 3 minutes. Like, that is unacceptable, and he started that whole thing. And for people to be so blind, for Lions fans, not all Lions fans, a bunch of them realize what he did, but for the fans to be so blind to not realize, yeah, he just cost us a trip to the Super Bowl. I mean, the Lions looked like the best team in the NFL in the first half. I don't think anybody could have denied that as that first half was going on. They were moving the ball down the field so effortlessly. So effortlessly. But in the second half, he just completely melted down. Dan Campbell started the meltdown. And I seen somebody say that the players didn't really look confident even stepping on the field for that fourth down conversion. People saying that the players actually felt betrayed by the fact that he would even do that. Come on, you got to kick the field goal. I feel like the players were smarter than him. And Dan Campbell's been doing this for the longest. Like, he will go for two, like against Dallas a couple weeks ago or last month. He would go for two, and then they took the 2-point conversion away, and then this motherfucker is still going for two. He tried to go for it 2 more times. He got lucky the second time Dallas was offsides, and then he tried to go for 2 again. Like, he has no understanding of situational football. And that ultimately was his undoing and the city of Detroit's undoing, because the whole city was behind this team. The whole city was in jubilation in the first half, and it got ripped out of our fucking hearts in the worst way. In the worst way. Like I said, Jared Goff was missing easy passes. I mean, all the drops happened, the fumble happened. But at the end of the day, I mean, you passed up on 6 points and lost by 3. And people will say, well, the kicker didn't make it. Well, he didn't miss a kick for you. You signed him, and he didn't miss a single kick. So I don't think it was the kicker. I don't think it was the fact that the kicker wasn't perfect, because he was perfect for you. He literally made every field goal for you. In fact, he made a 50-yard field goal, a 54-yard field goal in the wild card game against the Rams. That helped you win the game. So that wasn't it. This was arrogance. This was hubris on the part of Dan Campbell. And in the post-game presser, he's saying he didn't regret it. He doesn't regret it. And, hindsight 2020. Look, nobody's going to want to hear that shit if you keep doing this, because you did it multiple times this season. You passed up points against Green Bay and lost that game. You passed up a good 7 points against Green Bay and lost that game. Multiple times going for it on 4th down. You cost us the Cowboys game. Not kicking the extra point, going for it multiple times again and not getting it, and then you cost us the ultimate game, the NFC Championship game, a chance to go to the Super Bowl and potentially be Super Bowl champions. This is the worst loss in Lions history. I don't think people understand the severity of that. If you're defending Dan Campbell, or if you're a fan talking about, oh, they'll be back next year. You don't know that. Anything can happen. Players can get injured. There could just be a drop-off. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. that can just derail the season. And it takes a lot to get here. It took 30 years for the Lions to get back to this point. It took them 32 years to get to this point. So for them to lose in the fashion that they did is heartbreaking. You know, that Lions fan at Ford Field was like 80 some years old. If it takes him 30 more years to get back, he won't be able to see it. They let the city down. Josh Reynolds, I know a lot of people slandering him. He should have never been put in that position. They should have never been put in that position to where they have to do everything. They should have never been put in that position. This was on Dan Campbell. The Lions were moving, even as the 49ers were having their run, the Lions were still moving the ball down the field. There was only 2 drives that the Lions had that, you know, didn't really do anything. It was the fumble, and I feel like that fumble was caused by just the swing of momentum. The crowd was back in the game. You literally let them back in the game. You gave them life. Me personally, I'm firing Dan Campbell. If I was the GM, I would fire him like now. And I'm not saying this as an overreaction. I'm just saying this as a, you know, as just help, because like at the end of the day, he's showing you that he's not learning his lesson. He's not going to learn his lesson. And if they keep Dan Campbell, he's going to do this again. Look at Brandon Staley over with the Chargers. So, it is what it is. The Lions are not going to the Super Bowl. I know at halftime everybody was just ready to crown them. Like, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl. Nope. Nope. Fuck that shit. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. I'll see y'all next time.